Continents and oceans of the earth. By looking at the world map carefully, we'll see that some areas in the map are shaded blue while others are shaded in different colors. The areas which are shaded blue show the water bodies. The areas which are shaded in different colors are known as land masses. A very large body of water is called an ocean. A very large land mass is called a continent. Land masses cover an area of about 29% and water bodies cover about 71% of the entire surface of the earth. Both the land masses and the water bodies are of various types. Land masses include continents, plains, mountains, plateaus, islands, etc. Water bodies consist of oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, gulfs, etc. Continents. There are 7 large masses of land called continents. They are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and Antarctica. Asia. Asia covers almost 1/3 of the total land area of the earth. It is the largest continent of the earth. It is also the most diversified of the 7 continents in terms of physical features, climatic conditions, and cultural differences. Asia is the most populous continent. On the east, it is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean. The southern side is surrounded by the Indian Ocean and the Arctic Ocean on the northern side. On one hand, it has the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, 8,848 meters, and on the other hand, it has the lowest point on land, the Dead Sea, 400 meters below sea level. It has hot deserts, the Arabian Desert and the Thar Desert. It also has cold desert, the Gobi Desert. Some of the prominent countries of Asia are Russia, China, India, and Japan. The continent of Europe lies next to Asia. The land of Asia and Europe is together referred as Eurasia. Africa. Africa is the second largest continent of the world. Africa was earlier known as the Dark Continent as very little was known about it. It is surrounded by water bodies on all sides. A few of the prominent features of Africa are the Sahara Desert, the world's largest desert, the Nile River, the world's longest river, and the Victoria Falls, one of the world's largest waterfalls. Mount Kilimanjaro, 5,895 meters, is the highest point in Africa. The equator passes through Africa, which divides it into 2 halves. North America. The third largest continent of the earth is North America. It is surrounded by the Arctic Ocean on the north and the Atlantic Ocean on the east. The Pacific Ocean surrounds it on the west and south. The Isthmus of Panama connects North America to South America. The Appalachians and the Rocky Mountains are the most significant mountain ranges here. Mount McKinley, 6,193 meters, is the continent's highest peak. The continent has large lakes and waterfalls like the Niagara Falls. North America was discovered by Christopher Columbus. Along with South America, it was named after Amerigo Vespucci. South America. South America is the 4th largest continent of the earth. It lies below North America. The equator cuts through the upper half of the continent. The second largest river in the world, the Amazon River, flows through South America. It supports Amazon rainforests, the world's densest rainforests. The world's highest waterfall, the Angel Falls of Venezuela, lies in this continent. Mount Aconcagua, 6,959 meters, is the highest peak in South America. In fact, it is the highest peak in the southern hemisphere. Antarctica. Antarctica is the 5th largest continent in the world. It is surrounded by Indian Ocean on all sides. This continent lies entirely within the Antarctica Circle. The South Pole lies in its center. Antarctica is known as the White Continent because it is covered with snow throughout the year. The snow cover is very thick in this continent. This makes it the coldest continent in the world. Many countries including India, the USA, Russia, the UK, etc. have set up their research laboratories in Antarctica. Wildlife in Antarctica consists of penguins, seals, whales, and albatross. Europe. Europe is the 6th largest or the 2nd smallest continent in the world. It is the most industrialized continent in the world. Europe is surrounded by the Arctic Ocean on the north, the Atlantic Ocean on the west, and the Mediterranean Sea on the south. It is separated from Asia by the Ural and Caucasus Mountains in the east. The UK, Germany, France, and Italy are a few of the most advanced countries of Europe. Australia. The smallest continent in the world is Australia. It is also known as the island continent. It is surrounded by the Indian Ocean on the west, the Pacific Ocean on the east, the Southern Ocean on the south, and the Arafura Sea on the north. New Zealand and innumerable small islands around Australia are collectively known as Oceania. Australia, along with Oceania, is known as Australasia. The major feature of Australia is the Great Barrier Reef. It is located in the northeastern coast of Australia. This is the world's largest coral reef. Australia is blessed with different physical features like the Great Dividing Range and the Blue Mountains. Mountain Kosciuszko, 2,228 meters, is the highest peak of Australia. Oceans. There are large water bodies on the earth called oceans. Oceans are vast and surround the continents. They contain about 97% of the earth's total water. The ocean water is not drinkable, it is salty. There are 5 oceans on the earth. They are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Southern or Antarctic Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the world. It covers about 46% of the Earth's water surface area. It is also the deepest ocean. The Mariana Trench is the deepest point of the Earth. The Pacific Basin is a home to almost 75% of the world's active and inactive volcanoes. It is called the Pacific Ring of Fire and it is a horseshoe-shaped area. The average depth of this ocean is about 4,200 meters. The Atlantic Ocean. It is the second largest ocean in size. The Atlantic Ocean is about half the size of the Pacific Ocean. It covers about 29% of the Earth's water surface area. It resembles the shape of the letter S, separating North and South America from Europe and Africa. It is the busiest ocean for trade and commerce. It is not as deep as the Pacific or the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean in the world. It covers about 20% of the Earth's water surface area. It is roughly triangular in shape. Its average depth is about 4,000 meters. It provides important trade routes between Asia and Europe. It is the only ocean which is named after a country. The Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal form an important part of this ocean. The Southern Ocean. The Southern Ocean is also known as the Antarctic Ocean. It lies in the southern hemisphere. It is the fourth largest ocean in the world. It is almost circular in shape, encircling Antarctica. This ocean is basically a collection of the southern extensions of the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Indian Oceans. The average depth of this ocean is about 4,000 to 5,000 meters. The Arctic Ocean. It is the smallest ocean in the world. It is almost circular in shape, extending up to the Arctic Circle. It is partially covered with ice most of the year. It is the shallowest of all the oceans. The Arctic Ocean is lowest in salinity level in comparison to the other oceans. This is because of low evaporation of water. The shape of the Earth. The Earth is spherical in shape. More accurately, it has a shape like an orange. The Earth is a sphere but slightly depressed at the top and the bottom. In fact, long ago everyone believed that the Earth is flat. They believed that if we travel to the edges, we would fall off. The depressed top of the Earth is called the North Pole and the depressed bottom is called the South Pole. Globe. The globe is a small model of the Earth. The distribution of land and water on the surface of the Earth can be easily seen on the globe. It also gives a good idea of the relative sizes of the various continents. The globe has an axis running through the two extreme ends, the North Pole and the South Pole. The globe can rotate round the axis. It is mounted on a horizontal base at a certain inclination. The axis is not exactly vertical. It is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. Map. A map is a drawing of the Earth's surface or a part of it on a flat surface. Maps show the areas of specific places in detail. This makes maps very handy. Maps can be used in our daily life too. We go about our daily lives locating places and finding routes. Maps can be easily rolled up or folded and carried. A book of maps is called an atlas. In an atlas, you find several types of maps. Maps can be broadly classified into two types, political map and physical map. Maps showing boundaries of the countries, states, cities, etc. are known as political maps. Maps showing natural features of the land such as mountains, plains and rivers are known as physical maps. Following are the other types of maps. Climate maps. These maps show the climatic conditions in areas and precipitation in regions. Topographical maps. These maps show the outline or the boundary lines of any place. These maps also show the shape and elevation of an area. Resource maps. These maps show natural resources found in a region. These maps also show specific economic activities of different regions. Sketches and plans. This category of maps are known as special maps. These maps show vegetation, drainage, roads and bridges, coastlines, urban areas, etc. Special maps. These maps show the directions and routes to specific locations. The art and science of making maps is called cartography. A person who makes maps is called a cartographer. Signs and symbols. All maps use certain accepted signs and symbols. It makes easier to show features and places on a map. For example, thick lines, dashes and dots mark the boundary of a country. A small circle marks the location of a city. The capital cities are shown with the circle within an outer circle, etc. A lot of conventional maps use signs, figures, and pictures to show places like roads, bridges, airports, railway tracks, places of worship, etc. Once we are familiar with these, understanding a map becomes easier. Colors on a map. In maps, certain standard colors are used to show various features. Rivers, canals, coastlines, lakes, etc. are shown through blue lines. Roads are shown in red lines. Railway tracks are shown in black lines. Plains and lowlands are shown in green color. Mountains in brown and deserts are shown in yellow. Directions and scale. Directions. The most important element of a map is direction. We already know the four directions: east, west, north, and south. These four directions are called the cardinal directions. All the maps always show north at the top so that other directions could be identified easily. It is indicated with an arrow marked N. For example, if you hang the map of India on a wall, Jammu and Kashmir at the top would indicate the north direction. Kanyakumari at the bottom would indicate the south. The Bay of Bengal would be in the east and the Arabian Sea would be in the west direction. Besides these, there are four subdirections. The subdirections are northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest. Scale. All maps are shown very much smaller in size than the actual size. Due to this, maps are always written on the basis of a scale. A scale of a map is the ratio between the distance shown on the map and the actual distance on the ground. For example, the actual distance between two cities may be 200 kilometers, but on the map it may be shown as 2 centimeters. The scale of the map 1 centimeter ratio 100 kilometers. The scale is represented by a line bar. On the basis of scale, maps are divided into two categories: large scale maps and small scale maps. About this, you shall learn it in higher classes.